2 weeks, that's all that's left of the regular season. I'm Glen Dehmer, and this is Inside the Sun Belt. With the conference tournament and the automatic berth to the NCAA tournament on the line, it's time for teams to hone their games and get ready for some March Madness. Before we go any further, congratulations to Middle Tennessee head coach Kermit Davis. The Blue Raiders beat UALR on Saturday night. The final was 66-61. It was the 113th league win for Davis, who becomes the Sun Belt's all-time winningest coach. The win was also their 15th conference victory of the season. That's a new school record, their 12th straight, fourth longest in program history. Arkansas State won a pair of games this past week to take the lead in the West. It won a big game over UALR on Thursday, 86-62. Then they backed that up with a W at Louisiana Monroe on Saturday. The Red Wolves jumped out to a 24-3 lead after just 7.5 minutes and never looked back. Trey Finn led the way with 19 points, while Brandon Peterson had a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds, final 87-54. FIU is back at home after a tough road trip last week. The Panthers hosting Western Kentucky. They led by 5 at halftime and then stretched it to 15 in the second half. But the Hilltoppers were not going down without a fight. TJ Price nailed a three-pointer with 23 seconds to play, and it was just a 4-point game. That's as close as they would get, and FIU wins it 87-82. Jerome Frink and Tymel Murphy each scored 20 points to lead FIU. And Troy hosted North Texas on Saturday night. What a great game for the fans. 16 lead changes and 12 ties. North Texas was a scorching 14 of 18 from the field in the second half alone. But Troy had the ball and a chance to win at the end.
5 seconds, 4, 3, right side for 3. Oh, back of the rim.
North Texas wins 63-61. Jordan Williams had 25 points, including 7 of 9 from beyond the arc. Let's take a look at the other games from this past week. Middle Tennessee still sets the pace in the East, and South Alabama continues to trail by 3 games. In the West, Arkansas State, back on top, now has a game-and-a-half lead over UALR. For the women, it looks like UALR has caught fire at the right time. The Trojans 2-0 this past week, and both wins coming against division-leading teams. On Wednesday, they played at West-leading Arkansas State. The Trojans scored in spurts, jumping to a 20-12 lead. The Red Wolves didn't let them get away, though, still trailed 25-23 at halftime. Arkansas State took a 2-point lead early in the second half, but UALR used a 17-5 run to make it a 10-point lead at 44-34. The Red Wolves got to within 5, but that's as close as they could get, and UALR wins the battle of the West's top teams 54-40. Taylor Ford had 16 points and 7 rebounds to lead the way. Then on Saturday, they completed the sweep with a 51-43 win over East-leading Middle Tennessee. Ford had another big game, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Arkansas State needed a rebound on Saturday versus Louisiana Monroe, but it was the Warhawks hot from the opening tip, making 10 of their first 15 shots, at one point taking a 9-point lead. But the Red Wolves settled down, and when Jane Morrell hit a three-pointer at the buzzer, ASU had a 37-32 halftime lead. Then it was all Arkansas State. Just 5 minutes into the second half, the lead was 11. The Red Wolves didn't let up from there, winning 77-58. Freshman Jalen O'Bannon had a big game, 20 points, 4 rebounds. And Western Kentucky beat Florida Atlantic on Wednesday and could have pulled to within a game of East-leading Middle Tennessee with a win at FIU on Saturday. The Hilltoppers took a 35-30 lead at halftime, but they went stone cold in the second half. FIU went on a 25-0 run early in the second half, led by the nation's leading scorer, Jerica Coley. She poured in 38 points, collected 9 rebounds, and had 5 blocks. It all added up to a 72-53 win for FIU and a tough loss for WKU. Here's this past week's scoreboard for the women. So Middle Tennessee hangs on to its lead in the East, now just 2 games over Western Kentucky. In the West, Arkansas State still leads, but now it's down to just a half a game over UALR, and they are tied in the loss column. Now here's a look at this week's games. First, for the men, Middle Tennessee can clinch the regular season title with a win at home versus South Alabama on Thursday. On Saturday, the Sun Belt Network game of the week has Western Kentucky playing at Louisiana Lafayette. For the women, most of the games are on Wednesday night. But on Thursday, UALR has a big game at FIU. And coming up this Sunday, February 24th, it's the opening day of the men's and women's indoor track and field championships. The host school, Arkansas State. And that's your look inside the Sun Belt. I'm Glen Dehmer.